Hey all, here OS Reviews. A few months back, we did a review on the iWownFit P1. This was a sports smartwatch that sold for 75 bucks, and I thought it was one of the best values for a GPS-enabled watch. It's a little bit underrated even today, but it functions really well, has a lot of unique features like an integrated flashlight mode, which is basically turning the display white, and has lots of visualizations for steps, also for heart rate and sleep tracking, and it even has a ECG monitor. So in addition to the optical sensor, there are electrodes which contacts your skin to give you a more precise measurement. So all of these features into a really unique and well-designed package. Well, now the company has come out with an upgraded version called the P1C, new here in 2019, and tries to improve on the original P1 but make it more affordable. This new one is only 65 bucks, and as you saw, the previous model had more of a sporty look. The band was pretty large, it was not removable, and it only looks good if you're maybe running or jogging outside. This one is more professional and the straps can be switched out. It's a simple 20mm size. It also improves by adding in a compass. Packaging is still the same as before, and the overall UI experience also is about the same. So we've retained almost all the features of the original P1, including fatigue tracking, continuous and dynamic heart rate monitoring that automatically detects your heart rate at various intervals. We also have a quick user manual in the box, in addition to the charging cradle, which it now can just rest on for very quick charging, compared to the original, which used a magnetic charger that has pogo contact points that sticks on like so. Alright, so taking a closer look at the design now, we do have a curved glass on the front. As a quick size comparison, here it is next to the Xiaomi Amazfit BIP. You can see it's about the same in terms of dimensions. It's a little bit thicker on the side because it has built-in GPS, which the BIP does not. Otherwise, this watch also has great battery performance. I've been using it actually for the past week, and I've only needed to charge it once. So with GPS tracking turned on and some Bluetooth syncing in between, it can easily last you through 6 to 7 days before you need to recharge it again. If you turn off GPS and only use it as a simple watch, it can definitely last you about a week and a half. So battery life is also excellent. Not quite as long as on the Amazfit BIP, but definitely a huge step up compared to most fitness trackers and even the Apple Watch. We can tap on it to go through the various screens, cycle back and forth, and also to select things and loop through. So it's a way of navigating around just like on the first generation P1 without having to use the touchscreen if your hands are preoccupied, for instance if you're swimming in water or if you're wearing gloves. Otherwise, on the back we see the optical heart rate sensor, the aforementioned charging contacts, we have some basic specs printed on there, 50 meters waterproof, and again the watch straps themselves can be removed. They're a lot smaller than on the previous generation model, so again, looks better on people with smaller wrists. So the interface of the P1C is the same as the P1, which is to say it's simple and easy to use. We have the time, battery percentage remaining, and even though it's an IPS LCD display, I think it's a very vibrant and punchy screen, just like on the P1. I was actually really surprised when I first saw this watch because it reminded me so much of an OLED screen. You can see how good the contrast between the black and the colors are. Same thing can be said here, it's one of the better IPS panels I've seen. We have a visualization which will reach 100% into a ring when your daily goal is met. Shows you number of steps, calories burned, and number of sessions where you've sat down. I can swipe up to have access to the same kind of flashlight which turns the screen white and you're able to illuminate subjects in the dark, maybe finding your keys at night. Battery saving mode, which will automatically dim the display, showing you only the time. And in this emergency mode, it will last you through 2 to 3 weeks before you need to recharge it again. You can also tap on the moon key, and that automatically tells the watch that you're going to sleep, so it disables alarms and vibrations for incoming notifications and begins to track your sleep, even though it can do intelligent automatic sleep tracking as well. So I can swipe down here to take a look at my number of steps, and one of the things I've always liked about iWownFit's devices is how they give you a complete visualization even on the watch itself. So it's really easy just to see at what points during the day you are most active and the distance that you've walked. Over here we can see number of times that I've stood up versus just sitting down, and here I see my calories. I can swipe over to the right to have access to a quick dedicated heart rate tracking, and it will just take about 15 seconds to record a measurement. And you can also do a fatigue test, which requires a bit more patience. It takes about 30 seconds to complete, and the higher the number, the better. So in our case, we got a 77 in our latest test. So decent, but getting a little bit tired. It's almost the evening now, so that's kind of what it records, and it will sync it up to your phone the next time that you use Bluetooth and turn it on. Under menu is where you find some more typical smartwatch features, such as messages and notifications, and this is just showing you any push notifications like emails, Facebook, Twitter will all show up here. There's also a basic stopwatch here, which works well for giving you timed laps if you want to do some quick, maybe running sessions outside without recording your heart rate. And you can also have a timer, including several different durations for countdown that you can customize and begin. And there's also, on the bottom here, a compass. You can see this is what the interface is like. This is that new feature, which we didn't see on the original P1, but it's a nice little extra tool, I guess, if you are outdoors, maybe hiking. You can turn off the automatic heart rate monitoring if you want to, but I have it turned on right now. And I can also change it from 12 to 24 hour for the display. So at maximum brightness, this is an incredibly bright IPS panel that is still easily visible even outdoors when there's sun, which is also quite impressive. There's a large amount of kind of languages you can pick from, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Japanese, Italian, Spanish. So coming back onto this home screen, we can also swipe over to the left to have access to our sports. So from the main screen over, we have all of our activities that we can begin tracking. And this will mostly activate the GPS so you can see your location on a map once you sync it up with your phone. The cycling to running, fast walking, climbing, basketball, badminton, table tennis, soccer, volleyball, sit-ups, jump rope, yoga, dance, aerobics, ice skating, tennis, and the new one, which is swimming. So for instance, if we tap on a fast walk and we tap on start, it will then begin trying to locate your GPS. Again, it works better when you're outdoors and typically takes about 25 seconds to get a lock. So it is very fast as well. So even though this is made out of metal, it's really just for the chassis of the display. The body here is still made out of polycarbonate plastic to allow the antenna to pass through, and it shows you the distance, the duration, my heart rate information, and if I'm satisfied, I can just save or kind of cancel that session. Under sports, you can also tap on this top little icon to see your last sessions that you've initiated. You can see the statistics such as the aggregated distance that you've walked, calories burned, average pace, average speed, cadence, average step, heart rate, and you even see the visualization in terms of the curve on a graph. One final thing I forgot to mention under settings is you can change the watch face style. So this is the same style as we saw on the original P1 here if you want it to be back into this layout. Or we can scroll down to take a look at some other visualizations. This one is more of an analog style. Same thing here, but with a bit more detail. This was the one that we saw. This is a round display, and this is more of an animated style. So there's quite a few that you can look through. They've definitely expanded on the number of options since the last P1 that I saw. So there's been some firmware updates, which I'm glad to see. The interface is fairly animated looking, but it does give you a lot of useful information. I can pull down to refresh data, and the watch can save information up to 7 days, so you can sync it once every week if you really want to, if you want to turn Bluetooth off to conserve on battery for your phone. But anyways, it shows you your current statistics for the entire day, such as number of steps you've taken, calories burned, and hours you've been active. We also see the information presented as visualizations, such as this heart rate map that will show our data through the entire day. So again, this is the automatic heart rate monitoring at different points, perhaps at each hour, so you can see the movement by itself. So that's pretty handy. I can also select different days of the week here, maybe yesterday, to see the changes there. Same thing for sleep tracking. It also shows you light versus deep sleep and when you're awake, and gives you a score total. So the higher the score, obviously the better your sleep quality is. And you can also manually enter maybe what you are feeling after a sleep session, what your status is going to before bed, such as maybe you drink some coffee or tea, and then it also gives you some analysis such as you've been sleeping too late or how to improve your quality. And then in the center section for sports is where you will see all of the sessions that you've timed and their respective data. So for instance, running, we've gone 0.5 miles here. So if I want to see more information, I can just tap on this and it will show my location drawn on a map. Again, this was completely done from the watch since I didn't bring my phone along with me during this cycling session. And a detailed breakdown of additional statistics. So there's a lot of visualizations that they give you, which I definitely am a fan of. So overall, the GPS tracking is very accurate. It gets a lock fairly quickly, and even if you're in a really crowded or a remote location, either way, it seems to not really have a problem in terms of tracking where you are. So under device is where you're able to see the battery status. Right now, we still have 47% battery, which is pretty crazy. And we also can set up things like sedentary reminders. So if it's detected that you're sitting down for too long, it will vibrate to try and get you to get up and move. I can also use it as a selfie remote for taking images with my camera on the phone. So let's say I want to activate this easy camera, and now this becomes a shutter, so I can tap on this to capture an image, in addition to show a quick weather forecast on the display if you want to see some weather information depending on your region. And under profile is where you can set up different goals. For instance, I want to walk 10,000 steps more or less each day, as well as my sleep goals. So you can customize all of that over in the third profile tab. So for $65, I think the iWownFit P1C is pretty crazy polished. It's an excellent deal. I think it's better than the original in terms of the design for sure, because now you can wear it even to work, and it still looks good if you're dressed business professional or business casual. So you can check out more details in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That has been the iWownFit P1C, the updated sports smartwatch.